Well, that's a fade to white. Anyone who knows film knows what that represents. Or not. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for some more. Let's read Higurashi. We're on Lucky Chapter 13 of Tatarigoroshi. You know, 13, it's a lucky number. Japan loves that number. At least we're not 4. Oh god, the next chapter's 4, isn't it? Okay, I kind of thought we would have died. But judging from the sound and the dialogue, we're not dead. This is the final chapter, though, so time to see what happens. My head was pounding. The sky was bright. See, and there was a fade to white at the beginning, which normally in film represents someone died. Unless we did. And this is where it's revealed that every time Satoshi dies, he's brought to another Hinamizawa. What if? It was cold, too. It hurt. Each sensation I felt led to a new and different one awakening. When I came to, I was lying face first on a dry river bed. A few body parts hurt a lot. The skin over a bunch of my joints was torn, turned blue or red or oozing blood. I could tell it was my bones that were in pain from the agony I felt whenever I moved. I looked up and saw how high the bridge from which I had fallen was. Considering I dropped from there, it was a miracle that I could open my eyes again. Right next to me was a... Huh. Right next to me was a broken, upside-down car seat, which I guess some pranksters had brought here. Maybe this thing had been conveniently lying right under me, allowing me to escape instant death. Miraculous. Of course, I didn't know whether this miracle was fortunate or unfortunate. I'd failed to die, and now I was stuck in this insane world. How long had I been unconscious for? The sun was high in the sky, so it only looked like 1 or 2 hours had passed. But my body's sluggishness didn't make it feel at all like so short a time had gone by. Mentally, I felt like I'd been asleep here for a decade. The more feeling returned to my body, the more the pain flooded in. It hurt so much it would have been better to have not woken up. I needed to get to a doctor. Well, buddy, I have bad news for you. I don't think you're going to be finding a doctor anytime soon. 'Cause then, like, brother, you're dead, right? You're we can't make it out of here with our body in this condition. And, like, even if we did, the doctor that we know is gone. And, like, Lord knows you don't want to go to a new doctor and just be like, yeah, by the way, you know, like, I think I'm dead. What kind of, like, what's, I needed to get to a doctor. Yeah, to Coach's clinic. The term Coach's clinic brought memories back one after another. Memories I wish I hadn't recalled. Satoko was no longer on the bridge. She would have returned to Hinamizawa by now. And she would put on some clothes, go to the clinic, get a checkup, and report on how crazy I had seemed. The police were waiting for me without a doubt. This time will they find out for real that I'd killed her uncle and arrest me? Or would they just send me to a mental institution like I thought they might? Still, I didn't care which it was. Please, someone stop all this pain. You can boil me or cook me after that, whatever you want. I began to, oh my god, is he actually going to try and get there? We, like, ran so far. I began to walk unsteadily, just limping along. Is this going to be an entire chapter of just torture porn? I hope not. I went downstream and then through an animal trail-like path in the woods. I walked haphazardly, searching for a path I knew. Eventually, I finally came across a familiar road and set off towards the clinic. Not to my house, but to the clinic, which had treated me like a lunatic. It was hot and humid. There was no wind and the air was stagnant. For a while now, I've been smelling the terrible stench of burned eggs, and it made my face scrunch up. And then, at last I noticed something. I couldn't— Oh, wait, what? Yeah. I was gonna say it's eerily silent. I couldn't hear any cicadas. Huh. It was the first time I've heard Hinamizawa be so utterly silent. When I thought back, it seemed like birds always chirped in the morning, cicadas always cried loudly in the afternoon, and Higurashi always rose up in chorus in the evening. Always something to hear. I couldn't hear a single insect. The only thing I could hear was the rustling of the wind brushing the treetops. I've never experienced this sort of quiet before. If you've never been in like true quiet, it is absolutely disheartening. It makes you go crazy. Even the only sound coming from the trees lacked life somehow. The trees were yellow and... Yellow? And many leaves were spread on the ground, despite it being too early for autumn. Can we not have that tinnitus noise, please? Thank you. Thank you for getting rid of that. Is this place falling apart? Is this place falling apart because... Huh. Because Rika's dead? The trees were yellow, many leaves were spread on the ground despite it being too early for autumn. Even the weeds that had been growing so persistently at the side of the road had yellowed, browned, and lost their vigor. Only the sunlight itself was of the June Hinamizawa I knew. And yet it seemed like the seasons had switched all of a sudden. Are we gonna get to experience an end of the world thing? Because the reincarnation of the goddess or whatever, god, I don't know, Oyashiro-sama, died? Looking at the fallen leaves and rotting weeds led me to spot a few small insects turned on their backs. Well, that also implies to me that, like, are the bugs messengers or, like, cameras for whatever deity it is? They weren't moving. They were corpses. I looked closer to see insect corpses scattered all around, like a child had collected them as samples and then strewn them about. This stench, what was it? It was terrible, like burned eggs, combined with all the bug corpses and leaves falling from all the trees in summer. Had someone sprayed herbicides or pesticides around here? I like how he goes for the logical answer first. Even at school, we apparently fumigate. They call it pest disinfection or something, once or twice a year. I hadn't run into anybody, despite how bright it was outside. It was mid-afternoon, yet it felt like I were sauntering about at midnight. Well, with this smell, nobody would want to be walking around outside. Just what was this anyway? There was no sound, no noise, not even a breath. Hinamizawa was silent. Are there no other people? Is everyone else gone too? The school would come into view right after turning around this corner. And yet, I couldn't hear any commotion at all. None of the shouts or grunts that the children always made. It was simply quiet. Just as pretending to ignore the silence had grown intolerable, I saw the school. And finally I heard something. It was the sound of a few trucks. There was a few very tall trucks parked in the schoolyard, idling. Huh? About 10 workers in raincoats were unloading things from their trunks. Why are they wearing raincoats? What the frick are we doing? It was hot and humid even in my casual clothing. Couldn't have imagined how unbearable that must have been. And then I remembered. Our school was rented from the Forest Service field office building, wasn't it? It wasn't strange at all for the Forest Service trucks to be doing some kind of work in the schoolyard. Besides, what did forest rangers do anyway? I think they spin their stylus around whatever Pokemon are in the forest. I felt bad for them having to work in such heat. There was such a stench about. The stench is the weirdest thing he keeps bringing up. They were taking colorful cargo out of the truck and lining it up in the schoolyard. Okay, this is weird. No, this is weird, right? This is strange. My brain is going back to the end of the first, chapter and how we had, the director and the workers and stuff, right? The doctors. But, is that about Rika? God, we really are still stuck between is it religion or is it science, right? I hate this tinnitus sound. They were containers, fairly large ones inside multicolored patchwork bags. Heavy, too. They're being carried in pairs. That sounds like body bags. They lined them up very neatly like tuna at a riverside fish market. Several. I feel like we're seeing body bags. They lined up very neatly like tuna at a riverside fish market. Several dozens, hundreds of tuna were completely filling up the fairly wide schoolyard. I forgot my pain for a little while, captivated by this big forest ranger job I'd never seen before. As I stood there watching in a daze, the people in raincoats working on the other side noticed me. One of them pointed me out and shouted a few things back and forth. I thought they might yell at me for getting in their way, so I decided to leave post-haste. Yeah, I don't know how fast you're gonna limp away, buddy. But then 2 trucks drove up behind me. I stepped aside as they entered the schoolyard. Sheets covered their trunks, but I could tell they were completely full. Did everyone in Hinamizawa die at the same time? Is this just some rapture event? As they passed, there was an awful smell that made me want to choke. It wasn't the same burned egg smells before, but an even worse one, like rotten crab meat. What on earth was it? I've been enshrouded in one terrible stench after another all day. Then, certain white letters emblazoned on the side of the passing trucks caught my eye. Oh no! Not the SDF! Ground Self-Defense Forces. What? Self-Defense Forces? Like the army? Why was the army in the schoolyard?
Oi, kimi. Doko kara haitte kita?
That's a very calm voice for someone who shook the screen and has a question mark and an exclamation mark. Suddenly, someone slapped me on the shoulders from behind. I turned around and a canopied SDF Jeep was parked there. The SDF person had on a green raincoat and a gas mask like in the movies, carrying a compressed air cylinder. Is there something in the air? He didn't look normal. There wasn't an inch of exposed skin anywhere.
どこから入ってきた?
When I tried to talk, I stretched a wound on my head. Oh! I made the SDF people exchange glances. I couldn't see their faces through the masks, but they seemed surprised.
君はひなみ様の住民か? 住所と名前は言えるか?
一応ここに住んでますけど。
I mean, no, you do.
名前は前原圭一です。あ、住所は獅子骨市ひなみ沢村。
After seeing me tell them my name and address without hesitation, one of the SDF people watching from the Jeep started talking into a radio.
本部、応答願います。本部、応答願います。
If they say we have a survivor.
402生存者発見。
Oh yeah, there we go. Right there, huh?
繰り返す。 402生存者発見。場所は営林署入り口前。
What the frick has happened? What do you mean we have the army as part of this now?
生存者は健在。
This feels... Oh, okay, well, I don't know about healthy, buddy. This feels like I've just fallen into a completely different game.
全身に外傷を認められるも自立歩行可能。これより保護し本部へ送致します。
I was prepared to go along with the police, but... Yes, dear. Okay, no, you know what? This might be strange, and you might even, like, disagree with me on this. I feel like I would trust, like, the army more than the police. I feel like police are way more, like, corruptible. I don't think the army is. Because it's a bigger organization and it's not local, right? The problem that I have with a lot of the police stuff is, like, no one's gonna care what the police do if they're local police, but, like, if they're government for the entire country, that's different, right? Maybe, I don't know. I'd feel very safe with the army. I couldn't help but think it seemed a little bit much. They urged me into the back of the Jeep, and then they told me to put on this gigantic gas mask. What is going on? Did, like, a bomb go off? I did so, and one of the troops fiddled around with it, strapping it tightly to me. It was heavy, hard to see out of, hot, and difficult to breathe. Just looking at the world through the lens made it lose its sense of reality. My breathing sounded like some giant monster through the mask. At this point, I had no idea what was happening. Yo, dude, same! With much trepidation, I asked the trooper adjusting my mask.
すみません。何かあったんですか？
君はどこにいたんだ？何をしていたんだ？
Hey, don't ask a question with more questions. Answer, rather. I was the one asking you.
ずっと山に入ったところにある吊り橋から河原で多分気絶してました。今日が何曜日かもよくわからないです。
今日は昭和58年の6月22日。
That's the same day, right?
水曜日だ。
That surprised me. Oh, never mind. Satoko pushed me off the bridge on Tuesday the 21st. That meant I've been asleep on that riverbed for an entire day. Yeah, I think you should have died, buddy.
改めて聞きますけど、何があったんですか？なんで自衛隊が来てるんです？何かの訓練ですか？
Oh boy. I don't think there's anything worse than someone asking, is this a drill, when it is not a drill. Had my question been that difficult for him? None of the troopers would answer me. The one in the driver's seat talking on his radio turned on the vehicles. He turned the dial and some broadcast station or another came in. I started to listen to the voice of a radio announcer I was familiar with.
より首相官邸で行われました。記者団からの自衛隊の災害出動が迅速に行われなかったことが前例のない未曾有の大災害に直結したのではないかとの質問に対し、奥野官房長官は次のようにコメントしました。
Unprecedented, unheard of catastrophe.
でありまして、県知事からの派遣要請を受けて迅速に対応したものと思っております。
Yeah, but like what happened?
と、このように述べ、要請を受けてからの自衛隊の出動は迅速であった。
But like,
むしろ県側の事態把握に遅れがあった可能性を示唆しました。
but what happened?
そもそも自衛隊の派遣を要請した県知事は、災害発生から前例のない大災害であることをいつ認識できたのか。そして災害派遣要請までにいわゆるお役所的なロスタイムが生じ、被害の拡大を招いたのではないか。今後の究明が待たれています。
This makes it sound like it's a disease.
首相官邸より報道部の尾形記者がお送りしました。さて、ここでもう一度災害発生からの行政の対応を振り返ります。
Has there been anything to imply a disease at some point? In the middle of the night, between June 21st and June 22nd, a large-scale disaster broke out in Hinamizawa village, Shishibone. The details have not been investigated, but there was an eruption of volcanic gas. Okay, so the rotten eggs was sulfur. I was gonna say, it sounds like sulfur, but like, why would that be? Oh, from somewhere in the Hinamizawa area. The gas was relatively heavy, and as it spewed out, it began to flow. Wait. Did we wish for all of Hinamizawa to die? I don't recall, but did we? The flow went down along a small river and headed directly into Hinamizawa. What is this music? Oh my god. After a few hours, it had covered the entire region. It happened in the middle of the night. 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. Every home and house in the village was afflicted, with most of the residents asleep. Oh my god, that's terrifying. It is thought that all died without noticing the crisis. The catastrophe. I swear to God. Okay, this meaty flute is giving me big Final Fantasy vibes. I swear to God, if we're doing all this and they're like, we have one other survivor, and it's like the uncle returning, and he's like, that's right, I'm back. You didn't think it'd be me. I will scream. The catastrophe striking the middle of the night caused its detection to come too late. Oh, this music is messed up. But there was still one small opportunity to have noticed it. 3 a.m. A news dealer shop in Okonomiya sent a vehicle carrying the morning newspaper to its branch office in Hinamizawa. Usually the shop would be contacted upon the vehicle's arrival, but this morning that didn't happen. The news dealer's shop made repeated calls but got no response. The shopkeeper sent his eldest son to check on things, but they lost contact with him as well.
非常に悔やまれています。この時点で警察か消防への連絡があったなら、事態はもっと改善されていた可能性が高いでしょう。
Just everyone died.
村全滅という惨劇は免れた可能性があります。
There's also the thematic parallel of like what, Satoko with the gas, and now the entire village being gassed. 6 a.m. Residents in the area in the same region began continuously calling 119 to report the smell of rotten eggs, dizziness, nausea, and headaches. The fire department received the same reports, all from the same confined region. They speculated a truckload with chemicals may have gotten into an accident and reported it to the local police. 6:30 a.m. Contact was lost with a patrol car on duty in the Hinamizawa area after the officer reported the smell of rotten eggs. The local police considered the possibility of a large-scale disaster involving highly lethal gas and reported it to the prefecture and prefectural police at 7:15 a.m. 8 a.m. The governor was traveling to nearby prefectures for inspection, so in accordance with regulations, the prefectural environmental disaster prevention chief was provisionally escalated to director general and set a disaster countermeasures office. Now, everyone's dead by this point. The bureaucracy, it's over, right? There's so much bureaucracy. Like, everyone's dead at this point. You're gonna come up with like, oh, we need to make an officer and assign them, and that person needs to be to be vetoed by everyone, and then we need to he needs to set out a call, and then he's going to contact this. This is Shin Godzilla. This is Shin Godzilla long before Shin Godzilla happened, right? We're going to see how just there's so much bureaucracy that bungs up, any sort of large-scale government response to crisis in Japan, and this is a well-known thing that it's going to be too late. Everyone's going to be dead. The government officials are going to be sitting around, faffing about, as they say. Trying to be like, oh, well, we must go for our afternoon lunch, right? It's time, right? I don't work at this time. And it's just going to be like people will die because they're too busy being bureaucratic nonsense. However, without contacting the governor, the countermeasures came too late.
近年、市民団体によって指摘されていますが、議員待遇者との
Yeah, right?
旅行は完全に
Oh my
親睦を
God,
目
right?
的にしたもので、主演三昧だと噂されています。
Drinking party. Wait, that sounds familiar.
近い筋の話では、知事は徹夜で飲んだくれて、泥酔状態で就寝していたそうです。
even worse than we
環
thought.
境部長から電話があった時も泥酔していて、全く取り合ってもらえなかったのだそうです。
So like, it's literally that the party that they had with Mion there was with this guy who should have been doing inspections, but he didn't. And so the authorities, in the hour or so it took for the governor to grasp the situation and sober up, did nothing but accumulate
知
information.
事は言うに及びませんが、知事不在時には 本部長を務めることになる環境部長にも怠慢の責任が問われるでしょう。また県としても大災害を想定したマニュアルが用意されておらず、対応が常に後手に回ってしまったのが致命的でした。
I did not think that this would be that. 9:12 a.m. On the advice of the prefectural police, the governor requested a disaster relief mission from the SDF. By the time the chemical defense unit, equipped with protective gear, arrived on the scene, 8 hours had already passed since the incident's
とにか
outbreak.
く
Yep.
深夜の就寝中というのが不運でした。同じ災害でも日中に起こっていれば全く違ったでしょう。
All households in the Hinamizawa village region were wiped out. There were over 1,000 victims. The SDF has still confirmed the situation on the ground, but the results are predicted to only increase that
スタ
number.
ジオにはゲストとして火山性の災害にお詳しい地学博士の藤原先生にお越しいただいております。先生、このような恐ろしい6月が突然湧き出すようなことはあるのでしょうか。
河口部に限定して申し上げれば決して珍しいことではありません。
Is this the first time that we heard about volcanoes around here?
火山大国日本にはたくさんの活火山がありますが、
It's
それ
not
らの
okay.
河口部は
It's
い
just
ずれも
saying that
危険
though
な
you-
ガスの噴出す
There
る
might
危
always
険
be
性
one.
があり、
Okay.
一般登山者も河口部周辺には立ち入らないのが一般的です。
では今回、ひなみ沢村を襲った卵のフラン臭のするガスというのも河口部では一般的なガスということですか。
卵のフラン臭という特徴から、おそら
Oh,
く火山ガスの
not
中で
just
も
sulfur.
自己例の多い硫化水素によるものだと考えられます。
Yeah, sulfur's
高い
one
濃度で
thing.
あれば非常に危険なものです。
Sulfur's one thing, but hydrogen sulfide, that's a really bad one.
ひなみ沢村は火山の河口部と
Yeah.
全く縁遠い場所にあるわけですが、
Right?
そういった河口部でない場所にもその硫化水素が発生することがあるのでしょうか。
Was there just a vein somewhere?
詳しいことが分かっていないので、まだはっきりとしたことは申し上げられませんが、
Is there hot springs here?
外国の例で温泉の地下のマグマだまりからガスが噴出したという記録があります。極めて希少な例ですが、必ずしも河口部でなくても発生の可能性はあるということです。
先生、ありがとうございました。今、防衛庁から発表があった模様です。防衛庁の森川さん。
はい、防衛庁です。先ほど防衛庁はひなみ沢村ガス災害の主原因となった火山性ガスについて、陸上自衛隊科学学校での分析の結果、
Damn.
二酸化炭素と硫化水素の混合ガスによるものだったと発表しました。
Miss Morikawa.
はい、防衛庁です。先ほど
先生、ありがとうございました。
はい、防衛庁です。
Was that a typo?
先ほど防衛庁は
That is not a
南
miss
沢村
voice.
森川さん、そのガスは依然として噴出を続け、周囲に拡大しているのでしょうか。
That's a very weird choice.
現在、ひなみ沢村で救助活動に入っている自衛隊第9師団
Well,
の
that's
報告
very
として、
weird.
ガスの濃度は徐々に薄まりつつある。これ以上の被害の拡大はないと発表しました。
I mean, they just said Morikawa-san. I don't think that's gendered.
ですが依然、ひなみ沢村地区は危険な状態にあることには変わりなく、今後も注意深く監視を続ける必要があるようです。
防衛庁から報道部の森川記者がお伝えしました。
Yeah, weird.
続き
Okay.
まして、避難を余儀なくされている沖宮地区住民の模様をリポートします。現在、避難所の一つとなっている下篠崎小学校に報道部の現地記者がお伝えいたします。
Oh, they're not doing the buzzing.
何ですかそれ。
Yeah, boy, you listen to that in silence. Inside the jeep, clambering and bouncing along the rough road, none answered my muttered question. An unprecedented catastrophe had destroyed Hinamizawa in a single night. Where was Hinamizawa village anyway? Someplace deep in the mountains, right? Names of places I'd heard about on the radio were always like that. They were all places I'd never heard of. Much less knew the locations of. Wiped out? What does that mean? Don't they usually say how many died and how many were injured? How many people were alive? Where did everyone evacuate to? Eventually we came into view of Coach's clinic. For the first time I saw the flag of Japan hanging on the pole outside. That's never a good sign. That's never a good sign. I know this might sound strange to Americans, but normally we don't keep flags of the country up everywhere, you know. And when you see it, it's kind of a, oh, what does that mean sort of moment. Japan's circular sun hung down as though exhausted. Many SDF tents were set in the clinic's big parking lot. Many strict security vehicles were parked there as well. When they saw the jeep coming, men in white clothing and gas masks came running out of the clinic, frantic, carrying a stretcher.
もう大丈夫だよ。具合は歩けるかい？
歩けます。
Because of my owls, they forced me to lay in the stretcher anyway. I'd take that. People who seemed like doctors were looking at me and notifying others of my condition via radio.
外傷多数。骨折もしくは内臓損傷の可能性大。頭部に大きな裂傷。
Oh God.
瞳孔正常。眼底に出血なくも脳内損傷の可能性は否定で
What
き
the
ず。
frick is a fundus? You mean I got a part of my body that's fun? And then, from the clinic entrance, people lying on stretchers were brought out outside to replace me. Judging by their clothing, they were from Hinamizawa, and that's how I knew they were victims. They brought the stretchers in front of a truck. 2 troops holding shoulders and legs, like some kind of baggage, picked them up and threw them into the trunk. In the trunk of the truck, people's bodies, piled in heaps. They were just like baggage, and that told me they were already nothing but shells. At that moment, I remembered all those colorful sacks filling the trucks, and them lined up in the schoolyard like a fish market. Hundreds of empty shells, corpses, 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 corpses.
バカ！犠牲者を粗末に扱うな。彼は村の住民だぞ。
The troops carrying the sacks answered with a humble salute. The world didn't need this insane version of Hinamizawa. My final wish, again. It was. Oh my God, I missed that. It was granted. No way. He cursed I didn't realize that was a curse to kill everyone. Oh my God. I didn't understand anything anymore. None of it mattered. I wished, I cursed, and then it happened the next day. And please, tomorrow morning, let me die. That insane night, it's still going on. Please, please end it already.
おい、意識が損失したぞ。患者の名前を呼びかけろ。早く。
前原君、聞こえるかい？
That's not really shouting, but okay.
聞こえるなら瞬きでいいからしてくれ。前原君、前原君、前原君。
Suddenly, the world didn't matter to me anymore. I wasn't interested in their
呼
cries.
吸が停止したぞ。
Oh, are we dying for real now?
気道確保。人工呼吸。絶対に生かせ。畜生。畜生。
Oh my God. We're begging ourselves to die. And they're bringing us back.
これ以上死者はごめんだぞ。死んでもいい命なんかないんだ。殺すな。
Oh my God, this is so antithetical to everything we've thought this whole chapter.
殺すな。
I could hear the voice of a man crying and screaming in my ears. That man is having his own Emiya Kiritsugu moment. And we're meant to be Shiro, but we're kind of just going, nah. We're just like, nah, you know what? I'm out. Like, see ya. Like that's oh my neck broken. That's pretty much what we did, right? We're pretty much doing like we are the Emiya Shiro to this guy, except we're not doing this. Nobody deserves to die. Those words came from his heart. They were so commonplace. And they were soaked into my heart too. Maybe it was a mistake to take someone's life, even if it was to save Satoko. If this is the price I had to pay, this horrible tragedy, then this is a little much, Oyashiro-sama. Why did you never punish me? Come to think of it, Satoko said something. Oyashiro-sama's actual curse never goes for the target at first, but kills everyone they love before that. Oyashiro-sama's curse. It was a convenient excuse I told myself at the very end, that it wasn't my curse that destroyed it, but Oyashiro-sama's. Given that I was in a stretcher, this next bit might have been obvious. But last of all, I realized one thing. Yeah. Today, I had not heard those footsteps following me, even once. And now, I was liberated. As the cries of the Higurashi I couldn't have been hearing filled my mind. Their tearful ensemble was the only funeral march I had. Liberation escaped at last. What is that symbol? What is that symbol meant to be? June 22nd, 1983, early morning. A widespread disaster occurred in Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone, Prefecture. Volcanic gas, carbon... Wait, oh, from the swamp! No, that wouldn't make sense. There is, swamps do have sulfur, usually. Volcanic gas, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide erupted from Onigafuchi Swamp, one of the Hinamizawa area's water sources, and spread through the entire village. Oh my god, did we throw the bike in there and that caused it or something? There were 1,200 victims. 20 have gone missing. Oh, wait, huh. The catastrophe was unprecedented, forcing local governments to evacuate approximately 600,000 people. According to later investigation, magma pools and hot springs were uncovered directly under Onigafuchi Swamp, and the gas that gushed from it was determined to be the cause of the disaster. In addition, directly after the incident broke out, many came forth claiming this disaster was a curse based in Hinamizawa village legends, first sparking a wave of chaos. There were apparently local legends of a curse spreading a miasma destroying the village, and some scholars believe a similar gas disaster may have happened in the past and remained part of these legends. Well, that would explain that a bit. More extreme periodicals suggested this was an extension of the string of freak deaths that had been happening in recent years in Hinamizawa village, stirring interest in theories about the curse of Oyashiro-sama. In addition, relatives of those in Hinamizawa village who had escaped the disaster complained of sickness afterwards and were hospitalized. Some of them even died of unknown causes. Oh, so even if you escape, you're dead. Great! Further encouraging such extreme opinions. On top of that, several relatives professing to be possessed by Oyashiro-sama's curse, oh my god, committed suicide in strange ways. Yeah, this is, And the impact the disaster has had on the entire nation can no longer be ignored. Wild visions of terrible toxic gas sneaking around in the middle of the night, killing people, spilled across the country, causing a steady stream of people complaining of insomnia, difficulty breathing, headache, dizziness, etc. Some who identified themselves as being obsessed by it began doing odd things. Oh my god, we got toxic gas psychosis? Most of these were mistakenly attributed by the tabloid press, but afterwards some even began to call the mental issues arising from the Hinamizawa tragedy, the Hinamizawa syndrome. I swear to god, if it's revealed that when people get crazy eyes and go killing people, it's just bad gas in the air, I don't believe it's gonna be that, but that is a M. Night Shyamalan twist, and I don't mean that in a positive light. The Hinamizawa village region, the object of all kinds of rumors and speculations, is currently closed off, and even flying overhead is prohibited. The prohibition was, at one point, undone as a result of a decrease in the gas's density, but that autumn another gas burst was confirmed, leading the area to be cordoned off again. Word is that the area is sound asleep. All trace of its former life left intact and left to rot. And you know what the saddest thing is? Cut ahead, 30, 40 years. And now you got freaking people like whatever Paul it was, who'd go here and be like, I'm going to the haunted Hinamizawa village where 1 million people died mysteriously overnight. I'm gonna go here and film and stuff and wear a rice cat and do a bad Asian accent. And like people would eat that up. And I hope he... Okay, so I was gonna say I hope he dies from the punch to the jaw that he just got recently. But the whole thesis of this chapter is to never wish death on people. But what if it was just like this one guy? You know? I think the world would be made better. But I shouldn't do that. The whole point is that we shouldn't. But like, what if though, you know? I've been actually thinking about that. I've actually been, oh my god, wait, we did survive? Oh. I have been thinking about like, if after this one really bad boxing incident, which I don't know. I'm just gonna call them Paul. I don't know which one it is. They're the same person to me. If he survives, or no, rather, if he dies from this incident with the boxing, which he won't, but if he does, I'm just terrified of people all of a sudden coming out and being like, he was actually such a hero. I would be so mad. Only one survivor remains. Keiichi Maibara. Age. Weird they don't tell my age, but I think it's to protect my privacy. But it's still a strange omission. Who lived at blank Hinamizawa village. At the time of the rescue, he had trouble breathing due to a fluid buildup in his lungs. But as a result of life-saving procedures, he was kept alive. He is currently in a general hospital somewhere in the prefecture. The press have been asking for him for some time, but all interviews are being refused. What did he see in Hinamizawa? What happened between June 21st and June 22nd in Hinamizawa village? Today he remains silent, unwilling to speak of it. Something memoriam. Oh. I like the fake text under there. Jiro's dead. Mio Takano's dead. Oishi's dead. Kumatami. Kyosuke Kirie. Rika Furude. Oh, are we? Oh no. Oh god, we're getting everyone. Wait, is this just a list of everyone? Okay, our parents are Ichiro Maiba and Aiko Maiba. Oh, there's just a ton of people. Rumiko Chie, Kimiyoshi, Kameda. Whoa. Wait, oh, Shion just committed suicide. Oh my god, we attempted suicide. Great. Diagnosed with severe mental disorder and undergoing... Oh, great. Wait, what is all of this fake text? Oh no, it looks like real text, kind of? Kind of, but it's really hard to tell. It looks like it's just talking about, like, game stuff, because I saw, like, I'm very sleepy, thank you for playing this game. I'm gonna guess that this is some, like... It's kind of weird we're getting credits now. Why are we getting credits now? Right? I think... Oh, right. No, I just got... You know what? I just got a comment about this where someone said there's going to be stuff going by that's hard to read and to not read it. Okay. Because apparently there's spoilers and stuff. So I won't... You know what? I'm glad I didn't read it. Yeah, no, good for me. All right. Maybe I'll read that another time. But yeah, no, I remember. I literally just got a comment that said, hey, don't read that. I didn't know what I was going to be, but it definitely wasn't that. What a weird thing to have credits there. Oh. 2003? Okay, so now we're going to be an elderly couple living in Osaka Prefecture. Discovered a cassette tape while organizing the possessions of their son, who passed away 8 years ago. Huh? Their son went missing when his fishing boat capsized in 1995. He was 47 at the time. Well, who the frick is that? 8 years later, in 2003, they'd begun to organize their son's remains in order to organize their minds and came across the cassette tape in question. I swear to God, if this son is the frickin' uncle, 47, maybe. From 1975 to 1989, the deceased had experienced... no. Oh, it's Jiro! Had experience working as a journalist for a photography periodical, and this tape is thought to have been created during that time. So wait. Their son went missing in 19... Okay, so no way, Jiro never died then. So then, if Jiro never died... But I thought his name was in the credits. I don't want to go back and look at that, though. I thought his name was there. Maybe I missed it there. Unless his name said something about the fishing boat there. Okay. The label on the tape read, 11/28/1983 Keiichi Maibara. It is thought the tape was recorded during an interview with Keiichi Maibara, the only survivor of the great Hinamizawa disaster that occurred in June of 1983. As the only person who lived through the disaster on the night of June 21st, shrouded in mystery, many interested parties attempted to question him, but he never once spoke physically to anyone in a public place. Therefore, the tape caused quite a stir, possibly being of extremely high value.
なんだか録音されてると思うとすごく喋りにくいですね。
気にしない。ほら、こうすれば録音してるのも気にならないでしょ。
Here's the thing, I can't tell if that's him or not, because his voice changes multiple times. I feel like he went through multiple voice actors or different vocal performances. His voice sounded completely different between chapters. After this, the sound quality dramatically decreases. Did he cover the recording device with something?
じゃあ始めるね。まず最初の質問から。ケイチ君はあの大災害の夜
I think this is him,
どこに
because
いたのかな？
he's pretty familiar with him.
神社から裏に抜けてずっと林道を進んで吊り橋があるんですよ。山に入る少し前にそこから落ちて気を失ってました。
それは大災害の夜、つまり21日から22日にかけての深夜のこと？
いいえ、21日の火曜日の朝です。それで次の日の昼間に目を覚ましたわけですから1日半はそこで気を失ってたと思います。
どうしてそんなところに？誰もが持つ疑問だけど、当日は平日で、しかも落ちた橋は君の家と学校からは大きく離れているよね。ざっくばらんに言って、君が大災害の発生を事前に知っていて、
You think I was colluding with a volcano?
村から逃げる途中に吊り橋から落ちたんじゃないかっていう声もあるんだけど。
冗談じゃないです。勝手なことを言わないでください。
私も随分ひどい言い分だと思うよ。気を悪くしないでね。さて、次に圭一君が落ちたという吊り橋なんだけど、地図で言うとここだよね。
Were we just upriver from it?
神社の裏から林道を抜けて至る吊り橋というのは。
多分、俺もあんまり行かないところなので、自信はないですが。
そんなに行かないところに、どうして平日の朝に行ったのか。それで、この君が気絶していたという河原なんだけど、実は、それはありえないという噂は知っているかい？
ありえない。
Oh my god, don't use that word.
また、ありえないですか。まだ。
For a little while, Keiichi Maibara mutters the word impossible several
どう
times.
してありえないと？
火山ガスが発生したのは鬼ヶ淵という沼なのは知ってるよね。
Yeah?
それで学者の先生が緻密な模型を使ってシミュレーションをしたら興味深いことが分かったんだってさ。
Was I just in a dead zone?
例の火山ガスってのは空気よりも重いらしくて、地形に沿って低いところへ流れ込む水みたいな性質があるんだってさ。それで発生源の鬼ヶ淵沼からそういうガスが噴出し、どれくらいの時間をかけて村を覆うのか実験がされたんだ。そしたらさ、君が気絶していたという河原、流れ込むんだよ、ガスが。
Okay, no, it would have gone through there. That's why it's
よくそれ意
impossible.
味がわからないんですが。
つまり、
君が本当にこの河原で気絶していたなら、
Huh.
君は丸一晩猛毒の火山ガスの中にいたことになるんだよ。だからつまり君がここで気絶をしていた可能性は否定されたわけさ。もっとざっくばらんに言うよ。私はね、君が嘘をついているんじゃないかなって思うんだ。
The thing is, that one's not the lie.
君は大災害の時、安全なところに身を潜めていて、ガスが薄れた頃合いを見計らって村に現れて自衛隊の人に保護された。どうかな？図星かな？
For a short time, the journalist presses Keiichi Maibara further in a teasing way, but all that can be heard are heavy sighs.
別に仮にそうだったとしても、俺は
驚かないとはどういう意味だい？
Was this recording really of Keiichi Maibara? Some harbor suspicions. Oh, wait, what?
ありえないって。
Huh?
あのひなみ沢ではありえないことなんていくらでも起こるんです。死んだはずの人が生きてる。そんなこと珍しいことじゃないんですよ。まさか俺自身が死んだはずなのに生きているってやつを立証しようとはね。
Oh my god. Yeah, he's gonna lose it. Why is he laughing like that? The journalist and Keiichi Maibara both laugh for a while. To verify its authenticity, I had the others in the Maibara family. Oh, this is so cool. I had others in the Maibara family check the tapes with his voice in it. My family's alive. Oh. However, the sound was not clear and had much time had passed, so relatives I checked with couldn't remember what he sounded like. That's really sad. I was unable to gain positive proof it was actually his voice. Okay, text on text is maybe not the best choice.
いや、それはないですね。5年目のたたりは俺ですから。
Oh, he's just saying it.
何のこと？
何のことって、あんたの話に対する答えですよ。
Doubt also remained regarding the date 11/28 written on the tape. Oh.
言っても信じないでしょうけど、俺が起こしたんです。俺がね、こんな村丸ごと信じま
Dude, holy crap. No, but like, could you imagine some like terrible disaster happens in like a city and that just like wipes everyone out, and then they finally get an interview with the sole survivor, and like his one thing he says is, yeah, I did it. Like, oh my god, that would set the world on fire. The country at least.
それは豪快な話だね。
豪快？そういう面白い言い方もあるんですね。
After Maibara Keiichi's failed suicide on a certain August day 2 months after the disaster, he was diagnosed with a mental disorder and transported to the faculty hospital. I mean, I think everyone in this game has a mental disorder, personally. Just different levels of it.
あの時の俺にはね、何か神がかり的な力が宿ってたんですよ。そう。例えるなら、足音かな。
God, yeah, if we didn't know the context, this would just sound like a crazy person.
足音？ってなんだいそれ。
あんた、足音を聞いたこともないんですか？ペタペタ、ひたひた。
Faculty never allowed any news coverage,
歩いてる時、不意に立ち止まってみると面白いですよ。
so it's extremely unlikely that a tape from the media dated after August 1983 would have his voice on it.
それでね、自分がちゃんと立ち止まったにもかかわらず、足音が一つ気をつけた方がいいですよ。
Okay, I think he's just laughing along to keep the mood.
そうだね。
Yeah.
気をつけるようにするよ。
そんなに俺、面白いこと話してますか？
However, the porter had been criticized for using forceful methods of collecting data while he was alive. So there's still a possibility he broke in the facility and forced Keiichi Maibara to talk.
監督と同じだ。 俺のことを
Oh
同
no.
情したり話を聞いたりしてる
Oh
ふりをしな
no.
がらその実人のことを異常者扱いしてる目だ。
そんなことはないよ。
いや、俺にはわかるんです。あんたの目は監督と同じだ。
Is this really his voice? The authenticity of this recording is wrapped in
も
mystery.
う足音は聞こえない。だから俺にはもうあんな恐ろしい力は残ってないだろうけど。
Dude, what if we just had a stand? Like, this almost sounds like we had a stand. And now the stand is gone.
今ここでもう一度あんたの死を願ってみるよ。俺に不愉快な話ばかりをする。そうだな。今回は一つ死に方も決めてみようかな。
This time?
高野さんは焼け死にだったから。じゃああんたは逆に水だ。水に溺れて死ぬってのはどうだい？
15 years after the tape was discovered, the reporter, as he had predicted, died in an accident out in the sea. So it took 15 years this time.
さてあんたは
Huh.
何日後に水で死ぬかな？
Oh my god! Well, that's a jump scare.
あんたも気をつけろよ。俺ごときにたたり殺されるな。
The recording ends in the middle of Keiichi Maibara's laughter. And Keiichi Maibara? Uh-huh. Late on the night of 11/30/1983, 2 days after the interview, suddenly died from a high fever, cause unknown. Records remain of the strange words he kept giving after the pressing the call button the day out before he died. Oh, he can hear it again. Why is there 2 different types of quotation marks? I hate that. Why was that child noise? I didn't like that. Why was there a child laugh? Well, time to wrap down with the all-cast review session. I'm gonna need this one. The Great Hinamizawa Disaster. Learn what happened next. Boy, geez, did I. This was certainly something. Okay. Definitely, let me get my thoughts out before we get to this. Okay, so we don't know how Rika died. We don't know who or what Takano was carrying in her trunk. We don't know if the uncle truly died or not. We don't know. Let me think. Rena was fine, right? I mean, I think she'd, you know what? I kind of want to go back to the credits thing here. Oh, which one was it? Was it epilogue 1? Let's see. Is it this? I want to double check who all died. Is it this or is it before this? Let's see. I want to see who all died here because now I know what to avoid. Oh, whoops. Great. Too fast. Okay. Right, because now I know what to read and what not to read. Exit to menu. Yeah, let's I want to see that again because I want to see who all died and make sure, because they said there were survivors, right? I want to see, I'm not going to read the comments there, but I at least want to read who all survived and who died. Let me see here. Chapter jump, epilogue 1. Okay, so I know roughly where to stop there. Right? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to read the small text because people told me not. Okay, Tomitake did commit suicide, so who is this reporter? Takano Mio dead. Oishi went missing, not dead. Kumatami went missing. Kirie suicide. Rika murdered. Okay. Reina. Okay, so this is all the in memoriam for those. So Reina died, Mion died, Grandma died, Satoko died. Teppei went missing. Oh my god, he's missing. Ichiro Maeba. No, our parents are dead. Okay. Okamura died. Tatsuyoshi Kasai died. Shion Sonozaki committed suicide. Keiichi Maibara attempted suicide. Okay. Alright, yeah, I'm not reading the rest there. Okay. How do I skip this now? I know there was... Oh, wait, can I not skip it now? I can't skip it now. I don't want to read that. You're not seeing anything. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Don't worry. Like I said, I remember someone told me to read that later there, so I will definitely read that later, but not now, because apparently, again, it is apparently readable, but it might do so. What do you mean mini games? What do you mean mini games? Is it? It's very strange. Anyways. Again, weird place for credits, because there wasn't credits like this for the other parts, was there? I don't think so. A very weird credits theme, too. It's kind of chill. The vibes are kind of chill for everyone dying, you know? Okay. So as soon as we can do it... Okay. Oh, okay. Hello? There we go. So we don't fully know if Teppei died. That is something that we don't fully know. All right. Give me the review. Take a sip of my friggin' water now. Mouth is so dry.
Higurashi no Nakukoro ni sui, Tatarigoroshiを最後までお楽しみいただき、これまでのシナリオとは少し違う雰囲気でお送りしましたが、いかがだったでしょうか?
It felt like a mix of Tsukihime and friggin' Twin Peaks. That's the best way to describe it.
お楽しみいただけたなら幸いです。
I did.
今回も胸のすくようなバッドエンドだったわね。
One day there won't be.
私個人としては大災害が実際に起こった時の惨劇の描写も欲しかったところだけど。
You're a problem.
みんなの感想も同じかしら?
You're a problem.
そんなわけありませんでしたよ。またしても。大バッドエンド。
This might be the bad end to end all bad ends. Like, this is right under the world ending bad end.
あれれ？バッドエンドって割にはみーちゃんは楽しそうだね。
Are you just happy your sister committed suicide? Wow, that sounds horrible to say out loud.
っていうか、もう笑うしかないってのが本音でしょうね。
You don't need to be here.
毎回嫌な割り方がエスカレートすると思ったら、
You get me mad.
ここまで行き着いちゃったわけですからね。
So I'm thinking at least, okay? I expect the next chapter to have a good ending. Because I know it's the end of the first, like, arc of 2. Right? That's what I'm expecting. But we'll see.
みんな仲良しで死んじゃったのですよ。仲良しなのです。ニパー。
そういう見方もあるのかな。毎回死んでる僕はもうごめんだな。
Yeah, so then the journalist at the end, I don't know if we know who that was. Was that just a random journalist?
たまには死なずにエンドを迎えたいね。
富武さんって時報みたいな役割なんですよね。富武さんが死んだら、後半戦突入だ。
That's very true, actually. That's extremely true.
みたいな。
さて、ではここで今回の会合に改めてご参加いただく皆さんです。拍手でお迎えください。まずは監督こと入江京介さん。
I think it'd be really funny if now that we're out of like the story, he's just like completely normal.
ご紹介に預かりまして光栄です。どうもどうも。脇役だったわけですが、トータルで見てみるとかなり美味しい役だったな。
It's very true, actually. That's more than what a lot of people get.
本当ですわね。脇役にしては出番もセリフも多すぎで、しかもキャラが強すぎましたよ。
今後どれだけ出番があるかはわかりませんが、その説は応援よろしくお願いしますね。
I'd be okay with him having more of a bit role from here on.
ありがとうございました。では次に我らが担任、千
Right.
代ルミ子
So,
先生。
from what I heard, in the original release, she didn't get a sprite till now. But because we're in this version, they backported her.
皆さんどうもこんにちは。
Are they going to address the elephant in the room with her character design?
いろいろと登場シーンもあったのですが、今回カレー勝負で目立つシーンをいただきまして、カレーをバカにする人は許せません。
Are they going to address it?
誰もバカになんてしていませんよ。あ、千恵先生に席を空けてあげてください。
さて、これでとりあえず全員揃ったね。レナ、また乾杯をよろしくね。
では皆さん、各卓のコップをお持ちになってください。お飲み物はいろいろありますよ。
I honestly, I'm gonna be real. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this sort of wrap-up party thing, but like, I've come to kind of really appreciate it because it literally does feel like you've worked a hard day with your friends, you know, at work, your coworkers, and now you can kind of kick back. I kind of really appreciate the decompress.
本当にお疲れ様会も賑やかになりましたね。今何人ぐらいいるんです？
私たちを加えて多分10人くらいはいると思います。
未成年人と成年人の人数比がこれでやっと互角かな。これで胸を張ってアルコールが飲めるね。
ビールってなんで冷えてるとあんなに美味しいのに、ぬるくなるとあんなにまずくなるのかしら。
Some people like warm beer.
七不思議の一つよね。
なんででしょうね。
さあ、ビールを継ぎますよ。1,2,3,4,5,6。
Roku?
あれ？大人は6人でしたっけ？
Now hold up a damn minute. Okay, listen. I've been secretly wondering, like, again, is there stuff with Rika that we don't know? Right? Her secret identity. Are they pointing at that?
僕も泡麦茶がいいのです。
Foamy barley tea, is she just being silly?
リカちゃんもお酒はダメ。
ではレナさん、
Okay.
そろそろお願いします。
I still think there's more going on with Rika that we need to be fully explained.
はいはい。皆さん、ご清聴ですわよ。では皆さん、日暮らしの泣く頃に水、たたり殺し、本当にお疲れ様でした。乾杯。せーの。乾杯。
Oh, that's cute. Yay! Pachi, 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 pachi.
さて、では毎回恒例の
Yeah,
今回のシナリオ議論でも
Again,
やってみ
it's
ます
so
か
weird
ね。
to have the author do a plot discussion because it honestly sounds a little bit like they don't know where it's going from here.
とは言ったものの、今回のシナリオもケムに巻かれっぱなし。意見のある方は挙手をお願いしますね。
お、みんな慎重。挙手ないね。
じゃあ私が先陣を切ろうかしら。
Of course you would.
申し訳ないんだけど、音
Too
楽を変え
early.
てもらってもいいかしら。
Came in a bit early.
もう少しミステリアスな感じの。
Yep, that's theme of mystery.
ああ、これがいいわね。
ムードが出まくりなのです。では、高野さん、お願いします。
多分ね、たたり殺しのシナリオだけを吟
Yeah,
味
no,
し
for
ても
sure.
謎は解けないんじゃないかと思うの。
I think this was another seedling chapter.
そりゃ同感だね。ここまで物語が重なれば、そういう仕掛けがあることは明白だしね。
そんな仕掛けありましたかしら。これが正しい例かはわからないけど、鬼隠しで前原くんが大石さんとレストランで食事をして、それが園崎さんに知られていて不思議だったってくだりがありますよね。
鬼隠しだけだと実に不思議な出来事ですけど、綿流しを読めば別に不思議でも何でもないことがわかります。
劇中の私が入ったレストランは園崎系列の店だったということですね。
Yeah, I got that when that kind of call forward happened.
園崎一族はこの辺りの飲食店やら何やらを経営しているわけですから。
で、ケイちゃんの顔を知る者があの店にいて、それを私に伝えたと考えれば比較的筋は通るでしょ。そういうことだね。
日暮の物語は微細に異なる場所もありますけど、大筋の設定においては多分4つのシナリオは共通していると思います。
Three things that are always the same.
例えばキャラクター設定。
Okay.
鬼隠しのレナは怖い人だけど、それは鬼隠しだけの設定と、レナはレナで4つのシナリオに全く変わらない設定で出演しているということですね。
Yeah, I think every story has the character, like they all have the potential to do what they do in each of them.
全く変わらない設定というのは同感。
Yeah.
僕がどのシナリオでも常に同じ場所で同じ死に方をするのはその最たるものだね。
どんな物語になっても必ず同じ日に死にますですよ。
綿流し編でお祭りの最中に高野さんと富武さんが西宮殿に忍び込むというシーンがありますけど、
Are we implying that's a constant too?
あのシーンも他のシナリオでは描かれなかっただけで、
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that would go on without us.
なっているそうです。
Yeah.
綿流し当日のお天気や部活の内容、里子のおじさんの帰宅など、いくつかのイベントを除けばほとんどが共通するそうです。
だとすると新しい疑問がいくつか湧きますね。全く同じ環境で語られる物語なのに、なぜああも違う物語に派生するのか。
Brother doesn't know about the butterfly effect.
一般的なサスペンスアドベンチャーの視点で考えると、物語が派生する分岐点が存在したってことになりますね。
I mean, true, but we don't have choices. And I mean, the implication might be that the characters are choosing the choices of their own accord differently each time.
綿流しで言うと、お姉に人形を渡した、あるいは渡さなかったというあたり。あんな序盤の選択肢1個でバッド確定とは恐ろしい選択肢だね。
But also how accurate.
では、たたり殺しに話を戻しますと、この場合ですと、おじを殺そうと決意するあたりですかしら。
Again, the thing is, like, we don't decide this ourselves. Like, it is by the law of the world, you know?
同居人の女性がトラブルで失踪して、おじがひなみ沢に帰ってくることになったあたりから、もう分岐しちゃってる。
では、一番最初の鬼隠しの分岐はどこなのですか？
I just kind of look at that as the base timeline.
やはり劇中の私が登場してお社様のたたりに関する連続開始事件のことを話すあたりからだと思いますね。
今思ったんですけれど、ちゃんと圭一さんがミオンさんの気持ちを理解して、それで大石さんも私のおじさんも現れなかったら、何も起こらずに平和に過ごせるってことなんじゃありませんの？
Well, no, something else would have happened badly, and that would have been Rika's route, which is going to be chapter 4.
へえ、里子にしちゃ本質ズバリじゃないのよ。確かに言えて
る。じゃあこの暗い物語は大石さんとおじさんが現れないことを園崎さんのご機嫌を損ねないようにすればみんな幸せになれるということなのかしら。
やーい、お姉バッドエンド用意。みんな気をつけてね。お姉の機嫌を損ねるとバッドエンド確定ですよ。何よそれ。シオン、あんたには次は容赦なく痛い目見させてやるからね。泣いた謝ったって許してやるもんか。待ってこ
This is just so like I just feel like even though I'm like even though like I still feel kind of stressed about thinking about the implications of everything that happened, it's still nice to just decompress with this.
本当にそれで幸せになれるんでしょうか。大石さんと北条哲平さんの不登場、ミオンさんのお人形の件。本当にそれさえ気をつければいいんですかね。
I wonder if Rika's death is an unavoidable thing. Like if that's something we have to stop, because that seems unrelated to everything so far.
みんなは一つ大きな最後を忘れてるよ。ひなみ沢大災害という天災を忘れたかい？
天災は防ぎようがないですわよ。村のみんなにガスマスクを配って引っ越しでもしますの？あれはきっとお社様のたたりなのです。だからお社様を怒らせないようにしなければならないのですよ。
So she's implying that her death led to this happening because it's literally, oh, you killed my little messenger girl. Die, and then that's it.
ややこしい話になってきましたね。つまりお社様も怒らせてはダメと。お社様を怒らせないためにはどうすればいいのでしたっけ？
ダムの計画そのものがきっとダメなんでしょうね。ダム計画がそもそもなければよかったんじゃないでしょうか。
それは難しいわよね。
We'd have to go far back in time.
だとしたらお怒りになったお社様を鎮める儀式が必要ね。
鬼ヶ淵の沼に捧げ物を鎮めるあの儀式ですね。捧げ物って何をお社様に捧げるって言うんですか？そりゃあ決まってるでしょう。どんな分岐にも関係なく話の流れから脱落が確定している人だ。
Sure, I guess.
どうせ死ぬならひなみ沢のための人柱になってもらわなくちゃね。
その脱落が確定している人ってやっぱり僕のことかな。
やっぱり二郎さんはこの物語に欠かせない重要な役割の人だと信じてたわ。お役目を立派に果たしてちょうだいね。
これで今度こそグッドエンドの大団円シナリオの青写真ができましたね。せっかくだからちょっとやってみましょうか。役者は全員揃ってることですしね。
Wait, what do you mean give it a try? First we stop Uncle Hojo, whose lover ran out on him from returning to Hinamizawa.
いやー、私が北条おじですよ。
There's no portraits I'm standing in.
はいはーい。行き場をなくしてロンリーブルー。早くひなみ沢に帰ってさとこちゃんをお持ち帰りしてじっくり教育。未来はご奉仕メイドですよ。ではひなみ沢にバイクで帰りますか。キーを入れてカチッとカチッ。
Oh, bro blew up. Hell yeah.
成敗、怪人に着せでございますわよ。さとこちゃん、火薬の量多すぎじゃないかな。
Oh, it was her prank. Hope Coach is all right. Next we stop Oishi from showing up. Wait, are we blowing up his car too?
私の名前はクラウド大石。ジャジーでブルースな感じがだいぶイケてるナイスミドルですよ。
Okay, no, he does kind of look like a blues singer. He's not wrong about that. Hell yeah.
成敗なのです。そして忘れちゃいけないのがお姉へのアフターフォロー。ささ、お姉、可愛らしいお人形さんですよ。よかったでちゅね。なんだか納得いかない。
Yeah, I think it specifically has to come from Keiichi.
で、最後にお社様の怒りを鎮めなくちゃならないと。
Are you just gonna jump in?
では、最後のお役目よろしくね。
踏んじばってすまきにして吊るして3日かけて沈めるんでしたっけ？
面倒くさいですから、ここは一気にいっちゃいましょう。
ガボガボガボガボガボ。
Great line read.
これにて一件落着。
The end. We did it. Higurashi's over, I guess.
突然レナの腕が光ってうなって大変なことに。
Shining finger?
獅子類類で大変なことになってますのです。
Why did she do a shining finger at the end there?
あれ、電話だ。もしもし。あ、ケイチくん、お疲れ様です。
おうおう、相変わらず大盛り上がりみたいじゃねえか。こっちは次回の台本読みで相変わらず忙しいってのに。
I wonder if they're gonna keep this up for the entire time.
まあいいや、今日の俺は機嫌がいいから嫌味はなしにしてやるぜ。シオンはいるか？もう行っちまってもいいんじゃないか？
Why do you want to talk to Shion?
あれ、今ここで発表しちゃうんですか？とはいえ、もうすでに分かってる人たちもいるでしょうけど、まあいいか。
シオンさんとケイチさんの
Yeah,
二
wait,
人
what?
っきりの秘密ですって？何よそれ。聞いてない聞いてない聞いてない。
Okay, Kei-chan, let's say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3. The main character of the next story will be Shion Sonozaki. Wait, what?
まあつまりはそういうことです。
Wait, what?
初登場以来ダントツの人気ナンバーワン。姉妹キャラでも遅れ登場した片割れの方が絶対に人気が出るってのはギャルゲー全盛時代から決められたお約束ですし。
What is TH? I heard Galgay, so they're talking about another like visual novel, but
わけわかんねえことはどうでもいいよ。とにかく俺は
Wait,
このシナ
what?
リオでは主人公のお役ごめん。
Wait, that's super interesting.
風の噂じゃ俺のボイスを超えてるとか。
Well, yeah, you kind of have to if you're not the main protagonist.
チェッヒン。
That's
苦労を少しは思い知れ。
That's really crazy.
まあケイちゃんのボイス数は異常ですから、まあ園崎姉妹の実力ってやつをとくと皆さんにお見せして差し上げますよ。
でもいいんですの、シオンさん。主人公は毎回ろくでもない最後を迎えると決まってましたよ。
What? This is interesting. If this is not a gag and it's true, this is super interesting.
まあこれまではね。でもね、次回からは必ずしもそうはならないんですよね。
日暮の泣く頃に睡も今回のたたり殺しと外伝の染め写しで一区切り。ミステリアスな謎を次々と提示してきた出題編はここで折り返しになり、次の章からはこれまでの謎に挑み、そしてさらなるドラマの幕開けとなります。
Oh, well, right. Isn't the wait, right, frick. Oh my god. How did I forget? Isn't the first half called questions and the second half called answers pretty much? I think it's that for Umineko, right? But I think I've seen the same nomenclature used here. So like, yeah, no, all these questions are literally intended and the second half is answers. Oh my god, of course. So we'll start to be solved, you know, in the next part, but for the most part it's going to be still the final set of questions.
つまり私が名探偵になって理不尽な謎をバスバス解決していく痛快ストーリーなわけです。
Never once did I ever expect her to become a main, like the perspective character.
今のうちから決め台詞を考えておかないとね。
Like Rena maybe, but not her.
あなたを犯人ですみたいな。
Huh.
納得いかない納得いかない。御三家の秘密に近づきすぎて閉じ込められていたぶられて悲惨な最後を遂げる役に決まってる。お姉こそ私に全ての謎と秘密をカンパされて謝罪の言葉を口にしながら自害なされる心の準備は OK です。
Okay, so that one thing I said about the sister earlier was, yeah, no, that's true. That's how they are.
たたりの可能性はなしなのですか？さて、そのしーちゃんが主役の目明かしに進むためには新しい警察資料が必要です。
Is that what it's called? Higurashi. No, that's not the name it was given. Oh, no, wait. Wait, no. Chapter 5 is Meakashi. Chapter 4 is something different. Okay.
はじめからを選んでゲームを開始すると、主人公にシオンが追加されているので、それを選んで進めてください。
Wait, okay, so no, are they implying that Chapter 5 is when we get Shion as the main character?
鬼隠し、綿流し、そしてたたり殺し。この3つのシナリオを重ね透かして、皆さんにはどんな真実が見えてくるでしょうか。推理はまとまるどころか、ますます煙に巻かれていくだけ。
Did they announce thinking that the next one's gonna be Wait, did they think this was gonna be the end of the questions? And then they did one more?
レナも全然わからないです。
For all you warriors who never yielded to the 3 mysteries and kept on fighting, we present you with one final scenario thanks for your enthusiasm. Oh, one which we never originally planned on giving to you. Please enjoy it. Huh. Wait, what? So, okay, was Chapter 4 not planned, but they did it anyways? Is that what we're getting? Huh. That's intriguing. Because that really made it sound like they were ready, like with the credits and everything, that really made it sound like they were ready to move on to the answers, but we're going to get one more round of questions. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, we got all the achievements. Okay. Well, now I'm a bit confused. Because they really made it sound like, yeah, we're ready to go on to Meikashi and get going. But did something, I mean, you guys will probably tell me, like, did this game do so well? They're like, shit, we could do another chapter of, like, you know, the questions. Or were people like, I want a little bit more Keiichi? Because the thing is, I'm looking on the icon on Steam, because again, I have the games on Steam. And, like, the chapter 4, that's, you know, Rika's icon. But chapter 5, that goes to Shion. Chapter 5, Meikishi. So it's like, huh. I truly do not know where we're going with this. And I'm really excited. I mean, the answers are going to start, but it sounds like we're not going to really get them until 5. So, I don't know what to expect from 4. I don't know what to expect. Honestly, people are like, you should make an entire video detailing your, like, theories and stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have them. You hear my theories. I throw them out. And then something happens and I throw them away. I just don't know where we're gonna go. As I said, we still have stuff we need to figure out, but I don't think we're going to get answers until chapter 5. And even then, it's going to take a bit, right? I'll definitely say, I didn't imagine that ending at all. It felt insane. It felt like it felt like I'm high on gas, and I didn't expect this to happen at all. Yeah, I will see you guys next time for some more Let's Read Higurashi, where I kind of decide what to do with graphics and sound and all that, because I don't know which one. I kind of just want to stick with these graphics, honestly. I really like the classic graphics. I did. They felt soulful, right? They felt very soulful. But at the same time, I kind of like this more, and I kind of want to stick with it. Like, the lip sync does a lot. I do think I prefer these designs. They're a good mix of the two. I don't know, right? The NPCs getting extra designs, that's a huge thing, right? I think I might stick with this. But I'll wait for your guys' opinion. Cuz I did like the original sprites, but I can't see myself going back at this point. So, thank you all for watching, guys. I will see you next time for Chapter 4 in a bit. It's going to take a little bit because I do have some other stuff I want to get to first. But it won't be super long, don't worry. But I do have other stuff I want to kind of check out first. It's going to be maybe a month or two at most. That's about it. But thank you all for watching, guys. We'll see you then for some more Higurashi. Ciao. Yo.